everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday live broadcast, Fitness in the Word. My husband, say hello.
Hi, you're welcome to this broadcast.
Yeah, we're so happy to be back. We started, or rather we continued, last week was part 2 of the church, the local church. And this is very eye-opening. To me, it feels a bit more maybe technical, but we're getting down to now you as a member of the church, how the church is important for you, and answering questions about the church. There have been many complaints. As people who run a church, we have had many complaints sent to us about how the church is failing, how the church has hurt people, which is true, but I feel like this is an objective, all-round look at how we can't really dispense the church, do away with it.
Yeah.
We need it. God, it's an institution set by God that is important in our society, but I hope we'll also get to talk about how, besides or despite of the disappointments we as individuals have had in the church, how do we overcome that and still be members of a church and still benefit from a church? Yeah, so I don't know if it's today or next week, but yes. So please welcome. You see how this is important for you as a believer, even as a non-believer, just to understand about the church.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, so Pastor is taking us going forward.
Yeah, so like sharing last week, I concluded by telling us how the local church is so important, and I told us that many Christians nowadays will say, I do church online, I do church on TV, but I was telling us one of the importances of the local church is that you have a family you belong to, a family that you're known in, somewhere you're accountable. That is very key. That's why I gave an example. I used Bishop T.D. Jakes, but it was just because he's a preacher on TV everywhere. And but there are many others, so you can't just say that this pastor that I watch online is my pastor. Now, many people will say that, and many people have inspired me. Many people have blessed my life online, through TV, through listening audios. But still, a pastor that you know or you're known to is very important. And I like it with many of the big churches. I think I got this from Rick Warren. Zanu say that as we grow large over the weekend and we grow small during the week. Yeah, because I used to wonder how will big churches manage, churches that are 5,000 people and above, how do they manage to still keep a family? And there are small cell groups, and I was very surprised to hear that small house groups or cell groups, these are right from the Bible. When we hear the church in a house, some of them they belong to a particular assembly, but during the week there's a particular home that they met in, so you don't feel out of place. And there's a particular church that I knew that had this system running so well that, because it's impossible. Many times we think, why doesn't that pastor say hi to everybody? Why? And many times we think that pastor is proud, but a pastor has 30,000 people. By the time he starts saying hi to everybody every Sunday service, he will not be productive the next Sunday. You will not like that church. It will not stay 30,000 anymore. Yeah, because it's overwhelming for you to receive a phone call from 30,000 people to just be in direct touch with 30,000 people. But you can establish a system, just like we looked at the government systems. Like we said, here in Kenya, we have county governments. So there are many things that the president would not be able to do at such a small level, but they are administered through the county government. And it's the same way when a church has like smaller groups, cells. There are many things, because you belong to this cell. So let me say, your wedding, or you have something, you have a birthday party, your cell group members will get to know about that. And in case it's a wedding, you tell your cell group member, I found this lady who would like to get married, and what? He will refer you maybe to the pastor in charge of marriages in that church. They will take you through their premarital counseling. And even if it's the head pastor who officiates your wedding, at least he's sure that you've gone through the system down there, because the head pastor will not be able to take 30,000 people through premarital counseling. He will not be able to know the whereabouts of all these 30,000 people. And being accountable is very good, but he can't serve as the accountability figure for all these people directly. So there's structure that can be set in place. And a local church really gives us family. Many times as human beings, we really love to be independent. Now, this may just baffle our theology, our beliefs, but God did not create you to be independent. And that doesn't sound very good. God created you to be independent from the devil, to be independent from bondage on earth, but not to be independent from Him. God created us to be dependent on Him. And many times this is shown through the government that God has put for us, the government that is put in place for us. And right from the Bible, we see how He tells us even to honor kings, to honor, like even our political leaders, our governmental leaders. And it also comes to church administration, that we are not independent. And I've seen this, personally, I've seen this in my life, we've seen this in our life, because we have people that are over us. When I met my wife, there are people, there is authority above me that I knew I had to go and speak to and say, this is the lady that I found. And some of the questions they asked me were tough, but many things sobered me. Why? Because I know these people love me. Because many times the devil lies to us. The devil has a way of inverting things. And many people in the church think that if I love you, I will say nice things to you. I'll only say what you want to hear. That's what means that I love you. God is loving, but God has said hard things to many people. And God is very loving. Yeah, God is very loving. But there are things that are, he led Paul in a certain way. He told Paul, yeah, you should continue to this city amidst all the persecution, and maybe at that time these are things that he didn't need to hear, but God knows the best for us. And at times the people that are above us are not necessarily going to say the things that we would love to hear. But whatever they are saying to us carries a lot of counsel, it carries a lot of help for us. That's why the Bible tells us that amidst a multitude of counselors, there is safety. Amidst a multitude of counselors. And we find this also in the local church. It is so important in the local church. We have a belonging. If you don't belong to a local church, you're a loner. You see, nobody will ask you, why were you in this place late in the night? What is happening between you and your wife or your husband? How is your job? Why did you lose this job? But you see, if you belong to a local family, there is going to be all that kind of accountability. And also, the local church is also for nourishing us spiritually. Primarily, it is for that. And there is something so powerful about face-to-face or interacting with people. There is something so powerful about it. When we come and worship together in our corporate worship and we are lifting hands together, and there is something about it. And I think that is why God is so key on this, and that is why we see that even in heaven, that we shall be gathered. There will be a dinner that he talks about, a dinner that we will all be involved in. It's like we're going to sit in, it sounds like we're going to sit in an auditorium together. It's like God, you see, in heaven, since all of us have our mansions, you'd say, now the feast, the final feast, should be online. Guys should stream in their houses, wherever they are. But you see, God, it's like we are going to be in a particular place. Why is God so interested about this? God is interested. Temples were built, even right from the Old Testament. God was interested in people coming. Yeah, God is everywhere. That is very true. He's omnipresent. We can find, I worship in my house, I can pray in the car, I can anywhere. But why does he want us to gather? You see, we will get into details of this even on the next broadcast. We'll get into details of what is the importance of us gathering together. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like the ideal.
Yeah.
That's what church should be.
Yeah.
But I've had many complaints about people who do not feel that family presence in church. So is it that maybe the system, I don't know what it's called, but that having smaller groups is not working in their churches, or do you understand?
Yeah.
Because like in that where we are big during the weekend, but on the weekdays we go small. I feel like that was the purpose for that, for people to know each other, to fellowship. You are known personally because you're in a smaller group. So is it because of that? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I get your question.
And also, as you answer that, I've also felt like we've gone through this also. Like God has spoken to us about how we're going to have tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And I remember we had that conversation and it was not exciting.
Yeah.
Like you would think like a pastor would be excited to have a big church because we have a small church, relatively small. And we know everyone and we're able to, okay, even now it's becoming a stretch to visit everyone once their house to be prayed for and they move out. Everyone, like it's hard to keep up with everyone's stories.
Yeah.
So you can imagine when it's tens of thousands.
Yeah.
So we were saying we wish our church would just stay small. You remember? Because it's easy, it's family, it's good. We even used to fit in a house and make tea, which is impossible even now. Yeah, so I just thought of that when you were talking about how big churches need to go small. Like that was the purpose of the church, for everyone's needs to be met.
I think partly it may be that why people don't feel that the family spirit, that it may be that partly, but I want to say this also, that just like families are different, churches are also going to be different. And none of our families was perfect.
No.
Yeah. There are families that we visited and they were sure at 8 a.m. all of them sit on the dining table and are having breakfast. There is a family where everyone wakes up, they go to the fridge, they make their own breakfast.
Yeah.
Some would do it at lunchtime when lunch is also ready. But these were the families, and it's still a blessing. Like whichever family you've grown up in, if it was functioning in a certain way, maybe especially as a kid, there are many things you admired about another family, and you wished you were like them. But as you grew up, you were grateful to God that this is the family I came up in. We are going to experience a similar thing even in our local churches. So you're going to find, oh, that church, they are more neat than our family. They are knit together so well than our church. And that's very true. But when you join it, there may be something that you will miss in your church also. So partly they're not being satisfied. Now, I'm not saying that the church is doing the best, but partly there is also a lot of it happening because of us not understanding that the church can't be perfect. So if we all first understand that this is where I belong, this is where God has called me to be, there is a lot of peace we will have at first as we look at the other issues. So those issues are there, and definitely I believe as a church we should be growing better. Every day we should be learning. And right now, we are not pastoring thousands, we are not, but we desire that by the time we are there, that we've grown, that we are better than where we are. This year we've been better than how we were last year. And we desire to get better and better. So I feel like that's very key for us to first understand that we are not going to
have a perfect church.
Somebody said this about marriage, which I feel applies here also. There are many people in marriage who commit adultery or think other wives are better than their wife. other husbands are better than their husbands. They are looking at maybe the 5% that that other person
Shows.
has that their own wife does not have. And they feel like that makes that person outweigh their wife. They've forgotten the 95. And you see, in case they would have opportunity to go to that person, they would feel like 95 is better than 5%. So many times that happens also. We look at the other church and like, wow, look at their lights. We don't have those lights. Look at look at this, look at this, look at this. And we look at all that and we forget maybe where you are. It's a place where your pastor really teaches the word, real word. They may have glamour there, but they don't have. Or where you are, you have this glamour that is not the other person. May seem deep in the word, but they have this so that's why it's so important for us to know that where has God called me? Where do I belong? Where has God called me? And when we know this is where God has called me, there is peace that we will have first of all. And instead of just looking at what can I get from this church, we will feel what can I give into this church? How do I give myself also? Because we as kingdom people, our mentality shouldn't just be to get. And the truth is that the church is meant to give to us a lot in nourishment and all that. But what are we playing? What role are we playing in this church? How do we make the church better? How am I volunteering? When we come with such a mentality, it's very hard. It's very hard with somebody who has a servant's mindset to be frustrated. Normally, it's a person who comes with that entitlement mentality that is frustrated.
So that I hope maybe we can go into that a bit more, just to explain to people. Maybe there's not someone who's never known that there's a church that God can call you into. You understand? So maybe, I don't know now, or maybe the next session, that you can actually pray and ask God to lead you to a church where you will belong. Then there you just settle down and see the good, and also see how you can give into it, and make the church better. Just like we do in marriage. Like this is the marriage that God has given me. How do I give into this marriage to make it better? So maybe we can talk about that maybe next week.
We'll talk about it next week. But even before that time, you can pray. Pray about it. Ask God, where do you want me to be? Where do you want me to belong? And why do you want me to belong there? One thing that I really got to know, it's my mom who told me. I was in high school and I joined a school and I didn't love that school. But my mom told me that if you discover the purpose as to why you're in a certain place, why has God placed you somewhere, there is a way you enjoy it. You easily overlook some imperfections, like you easily tolerate them compared to somebody who does. And because I go to this school and the whole time I'm just cursing why I'm in that school. I'm just, that when I go to know why God had placed, up to today I just talk about that school. I'm like, wow, that school, that's the best school I ever went to. That's because I found God's purpose there. And that happens to our lives, in our jobs, our marriages, everything. I have a friend who kept asking me, how do you manage in Kenya? He came to Kenya a number of times and he's like, I can't live in Nairobi. I've enjoyed my time in Nairobi. I love Nairobi. But it's because I'm here on purpose. I know why God called me here. So even the church that He places you in, if you're sure God has placed me here, God wants me to learn from here. Even when it's time for you to change. Now, many times you'll even find people who feel like it's a sin for you to leave a church and go to another. It's not a sin, as long as you're being led by God. But when it comes a time for you to leave, still God will lead you directly. It does not necessarily have to be through conflict. Now, conflict may lead us out, but it doesn't have to be. God can lead you out very well. This is a very interesting topic. And we will continue with it till next Tuesday.
Thank you guys.
God bless you so much. See you.
Bye.
Bye.